watching The Lone Sculptor, Lessons from Quarantine. Our final exercise here is going to change this flat plane into an undulating plane. So that means I'm going to have a section here that's going to be sticking out and this section here that's going to be recessed. So I'm going to start that off by adding material to the side that I want to be the convex portion of my sort of wave that I'm building. And then I'm going to reduce some material where I want my wave to be indenting. Okay, so now to connect those two shapes, I'm going to suggest that you divide your piece in half. And on the top portion, we're going to try and use more of like a modeling, kind of a shaping with the wooden tool. So adding material and pushing it around. And on the bottom, we're going to be using our loop tools to sort of reduce the material. So you can get a sense of the different techniques. So here, I'm going to add maybe a little bit more material here and start trying to push things around so that I start to create this. So I'm taking my tool and I'm basically following along this sort of hill and then this valley here. And you can use different tools. And here you can even use your fingers a little bit to help you push the clay. Basically, you want to be working that material until you get that nice wave. Okay, so I'm making this a nice smooth transition from the sort of hill to the valley, and I want that to be a one continuous curve. And do try and limit yourself to just pushing around the clay for this top part so you can see what that's like. Because on the bottom now, what we're going to move to is using the loop tool and the rake tool to shape it instead. So here I can go in and say I want this to be a softer curve. I'm going to go in, I'm going to be reducing material to create that curve. So you'll notice when you're using your loop tools, it definitely creates a nice smooth shape, but do notice how it's taking away material to create that shape, whereas the modeling, so when you're just pushing it around, you're not really reducing or adding material, you're just manipulating it. So here, in order to get the shape we want, we end up reducing the volume of the clay. So that's just something to note. Say, for example, you're sculpting a face and you're trying to curve the cheek a little bit more and you're using a rake tool, well, you need to keep in mind that that's actually also reducing the volume of the cheek. I can also use just a straight, basic kind of little loop tool. So say I have my clay in here, it's kind of lumpy and I want it to be a little bit more smooth. I can be using my tool to reduce it and create that curve. You can also be moving your piece while you're reducing to help you get a smoother transition. Usually I use a combination of these two techniques, and that will be the most effective, but it can be interesting to separate them like we're doing here, just so you really get a sense of what each technique is sort of capable of, and its pros and cons, basically. Keep working away and see if you can get a pretty similar wave on the bottom as you created on the top. so practice that for as long as you feel and just get it as smooth as you can. And it's really just an opportunity to practice your tool handling and hopefully give you a little bit more familiarity with what your tools have to offer you when you go to sculpt one of your own projects. So have fun and happy sculpting! Thanks for watching The Lone Sculptor. See you next time.